Well, alrighty, we're going to go back into our live stream and get things going. Hello to anyone who's come by tonight and anybody who's coming by later. Thank you for watching and hope you're having a wonderful time. So we have a few things we want to get around to doing. I hope we have a bit of glass left over. So we can make some paints. We'll keep these on ourselves for when we go off. We would be looking for another chicken while we go out to leave. I'd like to get out to the Marble Islands again. There's a few things that could be there, and in particular we want to get some lava. We have these two buckets and they will help us get some obsidian. Among other things, let's see. I wanted to fix this up a little bit better. A little barn area for the animals. Bit of a problem with the jumping at the gate there. I wonder if there's a way to fix that. Perhaps having a bit more of a fence might make it a little more stable for the animals. I'd like to use some darker planks, I think. Just as a bit of framing. And I've come across a couple other things to get. There's an enchanting table I can make. I believe we may have most of the things we need for it. We need to process some gold, and that's really not much of a problem. We also need I believe an exquisite gem. Getting the exquisite gem isn't really much of a process, unless you intend to just continually mine until you eventually find one. But I think I have a way of speeding up that process. We'll need a very small amount of wood and a little bit of gravel. It's getting a bit late in the day, but I think we've managed to gather a bit of gravel in our travels. Doesn't really matter what kind of wood we use. I think we've got lots of oak wood left over. The oak lumber. And this enchanting table is actually incredibly overpowered. Amongst our adventures, we also need to try to find a sheep or a ram and hope for the best. I think we familiarized everything last before we left. Even a little chicken who happens to have half a heart there. It's interesting. Fences are definitely one of the glitchy things in Minecraft, and I really don't like them much. partly why I opted to make my own fence before. You're going to escape, aren't you? Like something is going to try to escape if I break anything over there. I might have to pull that chicken out. Out of the corner, I mean. Now, since the last episode, I've managed to tweak a couple settings. In particular, I've removed a particular mod that I thought was perhaps... what would I say? It's more tedium than helpful or challenge. No chicken, not that way. Might have to use the bag. Or not, as the chicken's managed to solve itself. Where did I spare the leftover of these? Throw them up here for now. Don't need the rope. Where did I store my logs? Over here, there we are. What, spruce? Ah, the sluice. We'll make a couple of them. Really depends on how we go about making the channels. They require water to flow, so we may need to clear out a bit of land somewhere. Perhaps even push that wall out a little bit. Though, if we're going to do that, we might want to flatten out little bits here or there. We'll flatten out that area over there a little bit. We only need a small area. How are we for pumpkins? 2 jack-o'-lanterns, not many. We'll have to keep an eye out for more pumpkins while we're out. I'm not entirely sure, but the water may have to flow to its extent. We can test this, however. Well, it's hydrated, which is the one thing that matters. So technically it should work like this. We can test this by throwing a gravel inside and seeing that it's processing. It takes some time to process the gravel or the sand, and they often push out or churn out some sort of ore. Each one can hold about 50 units of soil, but a single piece of gravel or sand counts as 20 pieces. So you can't throw in 3 pieces and end up with 60. 10 of those units are lost. May not need to make base a little larger at the moment, since that's going to work like that. We have an exquisite gem here. I believe that should work. So the next thing we need is some smooth basalt, which I don't think we brought back any at all, so we'll need to use a chisel. Which requires a hammer. Let's see, where was the nearest? This way. In a little bismuth mine, little hole. This here, I believe, was basalt. We just need to chisel it and mine it out. Of course, if I even brought along my pickaxe at all. So we'll be able to just throw these back up on the wall. We don't really need them anymore, we just need those 3 pieces. next thing we need is a book and quill. I know we killed some squid before, but we may have turned their ink sacs into markings. Also, yes, it turns out we didn't really need to use these sluices at all. But hey, they're there, and we can get some more gems. The gems we'll use as a permanent light source. We need some leather. Need some sugarcane from Vanilla Minecraft, or reeds. I need a feather from a chicken. And let's get going. Out to the ocean, and we'll see if we can get a squid. The next thing we need after the squid will be the gold sheets. Each sheet is 2 gold ingots, and they need to be worked after they've been fused. We've got 3 there, so that's more than we need. And that's the book done. Since we don't really need this cow anymore, we're going to get his leather. It's a male cow. It's a bull. I keep referring them to as cows, and then bulls, and then cows, and then bulls. Really, they're just steak. That's a lot of meat. So that's also a large one. We'll wait for the other one to process before we throw them both in. We don't really need to be carrying the wheat crane around anymore, I don't think. We do actually. We need to feed these two one last time. there. Now for the gold. Let's see what gold we have on us. 25 units. Now we need not quite that much. That should be enough. Although we'll get all the gold we can. All the gold we have. And do it all at once. We could technically go ahead and end up with some other bronze with the gold, but never really felt like that was necessary, and the gold could be used later. While we have some time, we'll just chop down some wood outside instead of using the wood we have. Always helps to get a little extra wood, and putting that aside for our charcoal pit. I think we got our last charcoal pit, but who knows, we may end up using all what we have. All these trees out here should regrow at some point. Should is keyword. Should we have collected any other dirt? I'd also like to make some new bricks, clay mud bricks. The andesite might make the slate. The rock salt. Maybe the marble would be nice. The icon for these seems to be a little bit glitched. Yes, I started mentioning on a couple tweaks I made. One that I mentioned was the tedium. It's known as the Hardcore Darkness mod, and I think instead of making it more aesthetically pleasing or immersive, it just makes it more of a problem. It looks like our clay jug just broke. The other tweak was to reduce the amount of safe time that can be accumulated in a chunk. I have mentioned once or twice about a protection meter, which I need 1 gem for. of any quality. Don't think I saved them in here. I put them... I know I had a couple. Must make a unique chest for them somewhere. Well, we have the sluice, so let's just grab a couple more gravel pieces. 12 should... no, 6 should do. And those were the main tweaks. Could probably do with some more andesite ones. Andesite clay bricks. I grabbed them. Well, our gold is ready. Gold, I think, used to be only processable in a crucible before, but now it's done in a charcoal a pit kiln. The crucible would now be used for the alloys. Almost exclusively for the alloys and for processing the ore in that instead of a pit kiln. This gold will take a while to cool down before we can remove it and weld it together. While we wait, I might try to get some more willow saplings. We'll grab the wood as well. You almost made it. Come on. Oh, made it to the top. So now it's entirely possible that mobs can spawn inside my base if there's any areas that are not lit well enough. I think I'm pretty well, but this back area definitely isn't. I've had some things spawn over on that little boulder. The reduction in protection time that can be accumulated was meant to make it so things can spawn in the base and make it a little bit harder, though I don't quite think it adjusts quite enough for the danger with the hardcore darkness mod before. That should be decent distance from the barn area. Still orange. The rest are still solid. Oh, sorry, still liquid. Pretty simple recipe, this one. And that should be just about everything we need. The rest of this gold I don't think makes much difference, so we'll keep them aside and deal with them later. Need to cool them down a little bit. We'll do them in the outside ones. Stack them next to the iron. So now, this simple recipe is done. This functions partially similar to the vanilla Minecraft enchanting, or at least can as also function as exactly the same. But it also has a selectable interface, allowing you to use just about any enchantment for virtually anything. Things from healing aura to some other things, venom, homing. I'm not too familiar with a lot of them, but I found that one in particular, it was just up here, down. Repair is incredibly overpowered. It takes 3 enchanting levels, well, 3 levels to enchant, and then it can be repaired for virtually nothing. A couple enchanting levels will completely repair the item, and there you have it. What I'm unsure of is the efficiency, whether that affects the axe or not, since it chops down trees and it has a slightly different mechanic of breaking all the logs instead of a single block. Let's enchant that and see what it does. See if we can gather some wood much quicker. After stashing these ceramic molds away. And putting this iron ingot back because it's processed in some way. Just go with one tree. Not sure if that feels much faster or not. Could well be a wasted enchantment. The other thing is, when you use the enchanting levels, you end up losing some health. It's because the levels you gain end up adding to the amount of health you have. Feels a little bit faster, but not quite as much as I'd expect. Yeah, that's definitely faster. It feels much faster than it was before, so that will save some time. There are other enchantments like Unbreaking, which can be added to it. But the more enchantments you add to it, to a tool, the more bookcases you need around the enchanting table, just like vanilla. Still, being able to repair these TFC items ends up being incredibly overpowered. It saves you having to process more metal and then work it into a tool. Though the loss is you end up not getting the experience from processing the extra tools. Something like this should probably be limited by the player, unless you're trying to do some sort of efficiency kind of thing with everything. Now, I definitely want to do this to a shovel as well, since digging takes a lot of time. I'm pretty sure because it's a completely different mechanic for digging, it'd probably be faster and more worthwhile on a shovel. Have a greater a greater effect from what it seems. I still have about 16 enchanting levels, so I think I'll head back and see if I've got a shovel to do it on. I probably should have done it on the IMAX. I'm unsure of how the higher level enchanted repair goes up to 4. Does it end up being cheaper? I'm not sure. I think repair 1 is more than enough. And then there was efficiency. So you have here, if I want to go higher than efficiency 2, I need more bookcases. Does putting one of these tools on a rack clear the enchanted? No, it appears to keep it. That's good. Our thirst is low and our jug's broke, so we might have to get one of them going. So, efficiency definitely has a significant effect. Using the enchanting to repair the items requires that you'd have to go out and kill some mobs at night. Which makes me believe perhaps I should have left the hardcore darkness mod on before, so I can test this sort of thing with them, but at the same time I think that'd be a degree of tedium because it's near impossible to see anything at night, as seen in previous videos. Seems that putting these bamboo on dirt changes the type of dirt it is. Schist, phyllite, slate, schist, phyllite. I've seen a few different types of dirt. I could perhaps go around and change out the dirt and end up with a variety without having to explore other biomes for the mud bricks. So, we now have the enchanting table and a few, well, 3 of the sluice. The next thing is to go get the obsidian. Because of certain circumstances, I may have to pause the stream and come back soonish. And no, not a toilet break at all. I'll come back for a bit of an adventure stream. It's a much lighter brick. Of course I put some of the dirt away, didn't I? How silly of me. We'll check on the sluice before I go away. And they have returned with nothing. except for this last one, which is this chipped sapphire. I'll end up putting a door in that area over there so we can get in and out without having to oh god. Did I actually look at one? It appears that I have not properly, and it was just a semi-glitched thing. This is where I put them. Ah, yes. Since that's a duplicate, we'll swap it out, and we'll use this to make something else before we leave as well. The alloy calculator. No, that's not what I wanted. It's going to be put aside, and I'll need a new one instead. I'll have to re-look up the recipe. It was some smooth on the bottom, smooth on the top, and some glass. So it wasn't even wood. I need 6 pieces all up. Well, looks like we're going back down to the mines. Grab that. Hello, I love rats. I didn't see you there. I tell you what, I also love rats. I was just finishing up a couple of things before I go away for a brief moment. I can't believe I hadn't made one of these yet. $727 that's quite a lot. So, now we have these done, I am going to take a little bit of a break and I will be right back in 10 to 20 minutes, I think. Sorry if you wanted to keep watching, something's come up. So, Hope to see you soon.